Hey, peace and positivity reflections. Good energy to all. So I just wanted to give a quick situational update and just share a few things that have been on my mind. Okay, so in my last video, I know I mentioned that I was dealing with demonic suggestion, and that was very true. I mean, yeah, it's very true. I mean, but there's levels. There's levels to everything, and at that point in time, there's a very high level of just negative thoughts. This is essentially what they were: negative, twisted, crazy, backwards, wrong thoughts for somebody trying to get in a righteous state. So, but I also know that I feel a lot of the times when people are in the, are really making attempts to change their lives and who they were and, redirect their life direction in a sense. It's you're going to get met with a lot of conflicts. You're going to get met with challenges. You're going to get hit with essentially demons, which are obstacles, here to teach us, so that we can learn and grow from that lesson, and move on to another demon or another level or another obstacle. So, but at the same time, I also know that they were there. That type of suggestion, that type of energy, that type of demon, whatever you want to call it, was there. By my own allowance. I allowed it to be there. I put the toxic things in my bodies that allowed infiltration. I spent time and paid attention to that type of subjective material that allowed my mind to attract those type of thoughts, and I continued to do it, knowing it wasn't good for me. Having had many a times in my life that stuff has gone bad and wrong, and I've ended up curled up in balls of pain and sick beyond, you know, wanting anything you want to imagine. So I've continued to, feed this beast time and time again, to my own detriment. Um, so, I mean, there's nobody to blame but me. There's nobody to blame but me, and that's a real powerful thing that I've found for my own, healing and progressiveness in life to be very paramount and very key for myself, and I think for anybody else who's really trying to deal with any type of addiction or depression or just issue that they have. Just to first realize that whatever situation you're in, you don't created it yourself. So, so you should take responsibility for it. Stop pointing the finger. But anyway, I know that's pretty common knowledge for a lot of y'all. But at the same time, some of those common knowledge things that we hear all the time, it's almost like hearing it all the time makes it kind of drowns out the effect. So it's like almost that's why sometimes like if you hear that's why it can be good. Like there'll be periods where I take a break from watching YouTube videos because I found myself in the past, if I continue to watch them every day, back to back and back and back and back and back, I'll get so deep into them that I'll kind of lose my footing in this reality here, and I'll be lost in translation. I won't know how to translate all the hours I spend on YouTube just staring at a screen vicariously, watching somebody else talk and do all these things. I'll find it difficult translating that to actually this. You know what I'm saying? So I found it can be good sometimes to take a little break to take get the knowledge, get the information, do whatever you got to do, and then once you really have it, once you can feel it inside of you, once you can recite it, once you can write it down on paper and it makes sense to you, and you can speak to it to others, you know, or whatever. Once it makes sense to you and you have it inside your mind, it can be good to take a break. It can be good to take a break, and while you're taking a break, to really focus on it without having support from an alternative, from a exterior source, because then you're gonna really build it up inside your cells, and that's how we change ourselves is by feeding them and applying the knowledge that we are given, or that we are affected by, that we're absorbing. That's just how you make it grow faster. Okay, you absorb things. Like if in this reality, this city, if I really wanted to grow within inside of Babylon, I could go and just start falling in love with it. Just start talking about all these great things. Start talking about sports teams. Start talking about eating meat. Start talking about politicians. Start talking about whatever the new and most common shred is. That's going to start that will start to build up those Babylonian cells that are relative to the city. Um, and I'm going to be doing it with inside myself. Like so, it's to a deeper core. Like when something is coming at you from an external source, it's not going to be inside that deep interwovenness that is you. It's going to be from. I mean, it can still resonate with that part within you, but the emotion, the energy came from another source to trigger that with inside of you. So I mean, which is part of the process, but eventually I feel like it's good for us all to get to that point to where we don't need to have that extra support. We have that support inside of us. We've got that cell information built up so well, and we've applied it, proven it to ourselves so well that it's there, it's running, it's humming, it's always doing its thing. So that when we are alone, there is nobody else. You know, we can still have faith. We can still have confidence. We can still carry that torch. We can still, you know, really possess and share that knowledge. So I've just found this. Like I said, I found it, but it takes time to get there. I know for a long time I did have to just sit in front of a screen and watch video after video after video after video after video after video, because by doing that you are feeding those cells, which are then in a sense, I mean, you're feeding those cells and you're not feeding the other cells. So, it's part of the process. You do got to just go through the motions, the repetition, the attention. You do just got to give that amount of attention. But I've found that there is, a threshold point where, that can actually work against you by continuing to just absorb and watch and watch and watch and watch and be vicarious. That can actually begin to have a detrimental effect. And so just be careful of that, because it's something that I've had to deal with in my life. And now that I've kind of like gotten caught of that and been able to back off from watching so much and start to move more towards application, and not just application. I mean, yeah, application, but an application. I mean, to really apply the knowledge, you got to feel it. That's why I'm saying it is so important for you to really be able to feel it inside of you. Because then once you can feel it, once you have the emotion, once you have the emotive, you can give off. Then you're starting to get the emissions. Then you're starting to get the ether to really apply it. Then you're gonna start feeling like you can just put a backpack on your back and head out into the woods, or head off into the direction of carbonation, and you're gonna be fine. No matter what happens, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. And even if you don't get there, you're still doing the righteous thing. You're still walking in the Most High's lane. So if you do go, then you go. But we all got to go. If you're going to go, you might as well go in a most high way rather than a most low way. So, it's a win-win either way you look at it, as soon as you jump on that righteous wagon. But you got to have that good patience. You can't expect it to come at you like that. You got to be able to make the sacrifices, to carry the cross, to bear the weight, to endure the pain and learn the lessons. So, that's really where I'm at right now. um, that's where I'm at. Is really at that point of again, I've built up the emotion, I've built up the ethers, I've built up the desire to move and to leave and to really live inside my faith, and knowing what I know is right and true and good for myself and all the environment around me. Um, but exactly how it's going to happen, when, where, all these things are still a very big mystery. The only thing I do know is that, I know if I continue to act as I am and stay diligent and stay true and stay, strong to my good word and my good purpose, that eventually I'll be okay and that I will get there. And even when I fall, that failure is only there, to teach me that, okay, well, that way didn't work. Let's go find a way that does work. And I know I fell a lot. Like, this is going to be like, I think the fourth time I've tried to, not try, but make an attempt to leave. And, I mean, I'm not going to, I'll be honest, there's a large part of me that was like, I've done this 3 times. I've tried to leave on foot 3 different times and it hasn't worked out. Like, I'm just, I'm getting older. Like, maybe, it just ain't right for me. Like, it's just, maybe I should just get a job and this and that. And, you know, um, yeah, that was a thought that was demonic suggestion right there. That was me falling into my lower self. That was me being afraid. That was me walking in conformity with all of these cities. That was essentially my asleep self, my dead self coming back, testing me, not wanting to die, wanting to cling on to whatever little life it still has inside of me. And I gotta say, now that I've taken a break away from artificial substances and drugs and stuff like that, like, my compulsion to live that way and to live in these cities and these lifestyles is really is not very strong at all. It's really only supported largely when I am partaking in substance abuse. Whenever I'm doing substances, I'm just that much more attached to this heavier, dense realm. It is what it is. So now that I've eliminated or greatly reduced these substances, my soul again you know, is like, why am I here? Like, what are you doing? You don't need this stuff, man. Like, you're good. You're happy out there. Well, so what? You fell down a couple of times and you made some stupid mistakes, said some foolish things, but it was all just to teach you that you weren't all that good. You weren't all that right. You weren't all that smart. You still got a lot to work on. But it's okay. It's okay. Because I am perfect the way I am right now. I really am. I'm imperfectly perfect. So, yeah, I kind of dived into a few different areas with this video, and so I really appreciate you guys if you watched it this long, and thank you again to all my subscribers, new and old, and all the kind and good comments. And one of my biggest hurdles in this life has also been my shyness, and so when it comes to just communicating with people, I can be reserved at times, and that's, I'm sure, the reason why I have issues with comments and stuff like that. But I'm just being honest with it. It is what it is, and I know that I'm the truer I am to my higher self, the more strength, confidence, and determination I have to communicate, and to communicate the right way. And part of the reason why I didn't want to communicate so much before was because I knew I wasn't right. I knew I wasn't behaving right. And so I'm always very, I don't like to share that with people. If I know I'm not right, if I know I'm not balanced, like if I know if I'm in a bad mood or something, then I have this thing where I shut myself away. I put myself away from everybody else. Because I'm like, I don't want to affect you guys. Like, I know I'm not in a good spot, so I'm going to taint it if I come around you guys. And but in retrospect, I don't know if that's the best idea, because you need people. I mean, people, that's what we should be. We should be here to help each other. Like, if somebody's having a bad day, I don't mind spending some time and talking with them. It doesn't mean I'm going to spend the whole day with them, but, I don't mind spending some time, and really assessing the situation and seeing how powerful it is, but, and a lot of that's my own ego and my own stubbornness is not even wanting to open up to other people, and knowing that there are other people that I probably could talk to and open up to if I really wanted to, that would listen and probably have some good feedback for me if I if I was courageous enough to open my heart and really, listen. So, but this is a lesson for me. It's like that pain. Now, this is what's drawing me out of that is the pain of being alone. Is like I've gotten to the point now to where I just want to. I almost wanted to get a job just because I was so tired of being alone. I was like, man, I just want to be around people like of my own age that I can talk to on hopefully some type of familiar topics. But um, so it's good. That reservation, that desire to be away and to be shy and to not want to connect with others, that as painful as it is, it's helping grow me into a person that isn't so shy, that isn't so reserved, that isn't so closed off, that is more open and humble with his own faults. It's okay to admit them. It's okay to say I do need help, man. I'm not a god. I mean, I'm not. Let's say I'm not the supreme God. I'm a piece of God. I've got a piece of it in me. But even God needs help sometimes too, right? Otherwise, why would he have all these other things? Why would he have separated himself in so many different forms if he didn't get lonely sometimes, or perhaps need help? So, anyways, and again, I'm not trying to imagine what God thinks. I'm just saying what if. All right. So I think with that being said, I'm going to shut this video down. And again, I'm just very appreciative to everybody, and especially everybody at Carbonation, Master Teacher. You just, you know, I see it, man. I see what you're doing. I really do, and the whole world will too someday. All right. Okay. I love myself.